Okay, I'm going to give you a tour of a place called Cole Point, which is in North Saanich on Vancouver Island, about 10 minutes toward Victoria from the Schwartz Bay ferry terminal. And this is a vacation rental by owner. The lady who owns this place, her name is Cordelia, and they live here and they have a house, which I'll show you, and also have a cottage, which is where we are situated with the radio equipment all set up. And then I'm going to give you a short tour here of the antennas and the property, and you'll see how what a cool place it is to operate a contest. If you're in the 2019, or were in the 2019 CQ Worldwide CW contest, conditions were so bad on Sunday that that's why I'm making this video instead of being on the air. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so here's the car, and sorry you'll be in the sunshine from time to time, but I'm just going to give you an idea of the property. This is a hot tub overlooking the ocean and right into the sun here. Sorry, so a beautiful spot. It is an actual point of land, so it doesn't have it has the ocean on 3 sides, so it's fantastic. So anyway, there's the house, and you can see just up here, this is the end of a 160-meter inverted V. So that's the end there, tied to a tree. And I'll give you a better view of that later. It's up on tall, about a 100-foot tree here. I think it's up about 70 feet in the air. Anyway, so let's go this way. So the unique piece of property here is that it has a footbridge, as you can see. And you can see the cables on the ground here that going out to the antenna. But there's a footbridge out to an island that's part of the property, which is fantastic. And you'll see there's the end. There's the island that it's on. And I'll just take a walk over the footbridge, and you'll see a little closer. Let's take a look over the edge here. So water over there, of course, and over on this side, this is looking pretty well northwest. You can see my shadow down in the water. Pretty fantastic, very clear water. So here's the island. I was here yesterday and there was an otter up on the land right up here, but I don't see him right now. Guess he's not here. Okay, so the cables go up here. And this is a stepper vertical. If you're familiar with the stepper, that's great. If you're not, basically it's an antenna that works on 80 through 10 meters. And it's got an electric motor in there that makes the length of the antenna change. So the white lines you see are actually the guy wires that are connected to the vertical. There's also a wooden post up here, which was on a boat, I guess, as a flagpole, and we don't particularly use it. We just I have it strapped down to the pole, but the pole has its own guy wires, and I use the anchors, which is rather convenient that they were already here since this is mostly rock. Anyway, let's just take a wander up the pathway here, and you know, fantastic views here, of course, because we're right out in the ocean. And pretty easy to get to the top. And here we are. So get an idea here. So the stepper is mounted on a 6-foot aluminum post, which gets the radials up in the air. So there's the control box, and the radials fan out from there. This thing sticking out up here is a ballon. And then the coax runs down here, as well as the control cable, and goes 300 feet to the cottage. So just to give you a bit of a view here. So I don't know what we're looking at exactly, but it is on the mainland, and you can see parts of we're going to the sun here again. You can see parts of Salt Spring Island and other islands, as well as the mainland, lots of coves and stuff. And there's the main house right there. So we'll wander down and follow the coax to the other end, and you'll see. The radials, by the way, are just, you know, very loosely tied. And you look at, here's a, this looks like maybe a 20-meter radial, but it's just, you know, just tied to a post here, or not a post, a tree, a small tree. So that's pretty much all you need to do is get the radials out in the open. I had to come here last night and fix this radial, which is a 40-meter radial, because it was up close to this metal guy wire and the SWR was really high. So I came out and I just moved it, draped it over on this about 6 feet away, and works great. Okay, so we're kind of up in the air. You can see the 80-meter, one of the 80-meter radials hanging out in the air here. Everything works really well. Okay, we'll just go down here and hopefully stay upright. A little steep in places. But it gives you an idea of, you know, there's some effort to setting up a station like this if you want to operate in the contest and actually make contacts. You have to have a decent antenna. So coax and cable just runs along the ground here. And the people that rent this place are really nice. So that's they're very accommodating, of course, being able to put up antennas. So the cable runs along here, little guard here for the, so you don't trip on the wires. And back to the car. So we're coming in the direction of the cottage. So I'm not sure you'll be able to see this, but there's a coax that comes from the cottage and goes up to the tree up there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, I'll maybe try and zoom that. You can see it later. But that's a full-size 160-meter inverted V. The piece that's sticking out from the tree is just absolutely ideal. It's about probably 80 feet up. I get up there with a slingshot and a lead weight and haul up a rope, and the rope hauls up the antenna. And then because the property's, you know, an acre and it's quite large, be able to put out the 160-meter ends pretty easily, 120 feet in each direction, more or less. So anyway, let's go over to the cottage, and I'll show you. So the cables come down here, and conveniently there happens to be a window right here with an entrance, and right there, so you can see the cables going through. And yeah, so that's how the cables get down here. And here's the back of the equipment. I don't know if you can see my reflection, but anyway, kind of a bit of a dog's breakfast here for. But so here we are on the deck. You know, fantastic for people who come here for something other than radio. There's lots to do. This picture is probably looking a little dark because we're in the shade of the sunshine here, but it's fantastic location right on the rocks. You can see whales going by and seals and birds and eagles, and it's endless of number of wildlife. Okay, we're just going to take a quick walk in here. So okay, so we're going inside the cottage, and for every contester, one of the most valuable things to have along is somebody to look after your every need and say hello. Hi. So, you know, there we are. Somebody's making lunch and it's not me. I'm glad to eat it though. Anyway, here's the cottage. So there's a place to eat. That was the kitchen we were just at, of course. So I'm not going to do everything, but you can see bedroom. And here's the station. So not a bad view. Looking out the window here where the cables came in right there. And this is the view from the shack end. I'll just make a quick listen here at how terrible conditions are. There's a VE7 Juliet Hotel. Signals are all extremely low. A lot of these signals are not moving the S meter. Yeah, lots of empty space. Nothing on here that's interesting. Who's this loud guy? One thing that discovered is using the spectrum scope on the radio. I used it more in this contest than ever before, and it's awesome. Love it. It's over 9. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to call CQ and see if I can work some Americans, if nothing else. There's propagation south to some degree, but not much else. Okay, so that's the view from here. Thanks for watching. Bye.